In this third lesson on slide guitar, you're now going to begin using the pentatonic major scale. So you're going to work a little bit of scale action here, and you're also going to learn some licks to help you get comfortable playing slide using the pentatonic major scale. All right, so let's just get right to it. But wait, press that red button down there in the right-hand corner and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar. Press the notification bell and you'll also be told when new content is posted, which is about once a week. Outsmart Your Guitar is also on Patreon, so go on over there, subscribe at one of two levels and become a patron and help support my efforts to continue to bring you high-quality lesson material to help you learn, play, and grow to be the guitar player you desire to be, to play the music you love. All right? Okay, let's get on with the lesson. All right, for these exercises, we're going to be playing the pentatonic major scale in G. So that means you're going to start on the 6th string at the 3rd fret, move up to the 5th fret, move over a string to the 2nd fret, and keep going. Descending. Now I was muting with my picking hand a little bit extra to get rid of some of the extraneous string sounds to keep it as clean sounding as possible. And that's what I want you to do. Remember, right on top of the fret is where the note is going to sound in pitch. So pause the video, walk through this. Don't worry about timing at first. Then as you get more confident with it, begin to count it out in time. And then once you've got it fairly smooth, put it to a metronome and get it further smoothed out. This is important stuff, to use the metronome to get things going smooth, because as you play music, it's in time, right? So some of your exercises should be done in time as well, okay? Then, once you've got it fairly worked out, go ahead and restart the video and we'll move to the next bit. All right, you know what's going on here? We're going to slide up and back. All right, so start on the 3rd fret of the 6th string once again. Right? Oh, that was kind of messy, huh? There we go. Descending. Okay, there's the exercise. So now, pause the video, practice this, get it clean, get it sounding good. Try to remove as much of the artifacts as possible, but don't worry too much about that. Then smooth it out, put it in time, put it to the metronome, play it in time, refine your timing, okay? Then, when you're ready to move forward, we'll keep going. Press play. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to walk through playing a little in the 1st position and transitioning up to the 2nd position. And then we're going to stay in the 2nd position in the descending portion. So you start at the 5th fret on the 4th string, move over. Here's your transition point up to 7 on the 3rd string. Now, we're going to stay in 2nd position for the descending. All right? So pause the video, you know the drill, and practice this. Get comfortable moving between the two positions. And you can pretty much mix it up any way you want. Just do the exercise as written first before you start playing around with and changing things up. Make sure you understand what is being taught before you start playing around with it and changing things up a little bit. All right? And smooth it out, put it to the metronome, get it really smooth and flowing. All right? And clean, get those notes clean. All right, when you're ready to continue, press play and we'll move forward. Okay, let's do the slidey bits. Fifth fret, fourth string, of course. Now descending. All right, so pause the video, go over this, get it nice and clean in the execution to the best of your ability, and then smooth it out, count it out, and then put it to a metronome to further refine the tempo. Playing things in time, as I mentioned earlier, is important because when you're playing music, everything's being played in time, right? So it's a good idea to practice with a metronome. Okay, get this down, and when you're ready to move forward, go ahead, press play, and we'll move into some licks now. This first lick is a quintessential blues lick. It's with a shuffle feel. That's what that little indicator is above the notation. That's called a metric modulation. And that symbol tells you this is played with a shuffle feel. All right? So, what are you doing? Well, what you're doing is sliding into the third fret of the first and second string together. Go to 5 on the third string, come back to 3 on the third string, and slide up to 4 in time. Come to 5 on the fourth string, go to 5 on the fifth string, slide up to 7. Then slide to 9 on the fourth string. Then 7, slide to 5. All right, here's what it sounds like in time. 3 and 4. Now, there's a variation on this that involves instead of sliding up to 9, slide up to 8. And that's actually the flat 3 of the scale. So it gives you a slightly more tension-filled bit. Okay? Here it sounds like this. So you have the option of playing full major or adding that slight minor sound to an otherwise major lick. Okay? So pause the video and practice the lick as shown, and then practice the variation where you're going up to 8 instead of 9 on the fourth string in that second measure. Okay? Then smooth it out and put it in time, counting it out, and then once you've got it fairly smoothed out, bring in the metronome and make sure you can play this in time with the shuffle feel to the metronome. And once you've got that down, go ahead and press play, and we'll get to the next lick. This next lick is a little longer. It's more complicated. It's going to take a little time to work out, but it's not hard. It's just involved. So follow along with me very carefully. So we're on the second string, sliding up to the 8th fret. Then we're going to come back to 5, move to the 3rd string at 7, come back to the 5th fret of the 2nd string and slide from 5 to 3 and jump to 4 on the 3rd string. That's your first triplet. Now your second triplet, you're going to go down to 2, slide up to 4, and go to 3 on the 2nd string. Now in the next measure, we start at 5, slide down to 3, jump to 4 on the 3rd string and slide down to 2, then the open string. Then go to 2 on the 4th string, open, back up to 2, open 3rd string, and then the 4th beat, we're back to a regular shuffle. Slide up to 4, the open 3rd string, and then come into 2 on the 4th string. And then from 3, slide up to 5 on the 4th and 5th string. And you can do that a little slow. Okay? You get all that? If not, go ahead and rewind and follow along. And just count it out as it goes. I mean, it really is very clear. You got a bunch of triplets. You just have to line the notes up with what part of the triplet you're on, right? So here's how it sounds. 3 and 4. Whoops, 3 and 4. And that's what it's supposed to sound like. Okay, so pause the video, rewind for the walkthrough to get the mechanics, then listen to the demonstration to hear how it's supposed to sound. Try counting along with the demonstration so you can hear when each note is happening in relation to what part of the beat. Okay, then pause and work through it. Just work through it as best you're able. That's all we can ask. These are a little bit more complicated licks than in lessons 1 and 2. And that's part of the idea here. We're stepping it up a little bit, okay? And you'll get it. Just take your time and then slowly work it out in time and smooth it out. And if you're able, even at a slow tempo, put it to a metronome so that you can actually play it well. It's not about how fast, it's about how well, and the proper execution technique and everything else, right? Okay, and then when you're ready to continue, press play, and we'll get to the next section. All right, we're going to play with elements of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions. We're going to start in the 4th position. So you see the diagram. I'm going to play through this. I'm going to start at the 10th fret on the 6th string. Follow along. In 4th position. Now we're in 5th position. Descending. 4th position. 3rd position. That's a lot of notes, yeah. So what you want to do is take your time here, pause the video, and if you want to rewind and listen to it, then go ahead and do that. Then pause and play through this. Now notice I got each note to sound distinct and separate from every other note. You want to make sure you're landing right on top of the fret to get the proper pitch, okay? So then do that, smooth it out, put it to a metronome at a tempo where you can play it nice and smooth and flowing. And then when you're ready to move forward, press play and we'll keep going. All right, time to slide into the notes. Here we go. Try to keep it really clean and get from one pitch perfect note, slide up to the next pitch perfect note. That's the real key here, getting those pitches right on the money. So work it out mechanically and then slowly put it in time and then put the metronome on and play it to the metronome. Nice and smooth and flowing. All right. Then, once you've got this down fairly well, press play and we'll move on and keep it going. All right, this is a lick. It's 4 measures long. It's a couple of phrases overall. So you can break this down into 2 sections and work it out as 2 measure segments. I'm just going to walk you through this. So pay attention. Okay, on the 4th string, we're at the 12th fret. You slide from 12 to 14. Move over to the 3rd string at 12. Be in pitch. Go to 14 on the 4th string, slide back to 12. Then you want to slide on the 3rd string up to 16. Come back to 14 and slide to 12. And then move to the 4th string at 12 and slide up to 14. Move to the 3rd string at 12. Now, 15th fret of the 1st string, slide into that. Come to 17 on the 2nd string and slide back to 15. Come to 16 on the 3rd string and slide back to 14. Then move to 12. And then 14 on the 4th string. 12 to 14 on the 4th string, slide that. 12 on the 3rd string. And then slide into 17 on the 4th string. All right, so pause the video, rewind, and go back and watch the mechanics and see if you can just kind of keep up a little bit, all right? And just get comfortable with it. Pause it if you need to work out bits, and then press play to keep going to work out the next bit, all right? And so that's all you need to do is pause, play, pause, play, pause, play through the demonstration of the mechanics, all right? So now, what is it actually supposed to sound like? Here we go. 3, 4. So take your time, pause the video, rewind and listen to the demonstration here so you get a good sense of what it's supposed to sound like. Follow along on the diagram and see where the notes are happening in relation to the beat. Then pause the video and again, work it through. If you have to do it 1 or 2 measures at a time, that's fine. This is a pretty long lick. And so it's got its little challenges, okay? So take your time. Then, as you're able, learn it note for note as best you can. If not, don't worry about it. Do the best you can. Then put it to a metronome at a tempo where you think you can actually play this in time. All right? Then, when you're ready to move forward, press play, and we'll wrap it up for this lesson. All right, I know these last two licks are a bit of a challenge, but that's part of the point here, is to get you playing a little beyond yourself, which is how you push your limits, right? So with these licks, take one and work it out. Play one measure, then the second measure, put the two measures together, get the third measure, put it with the first two, get that all worked out, then get the fourth measure and put it with the first three, and get them all working beautifully together. Put it in time, and then get the metronome going. And then you do the same thing with the second lick. You'll get these. Don't worry about how fast you're playing. Don't play them as fast as I could play it. Play it where you can play it smooth and flowing. That's the main thing. Any lick you learn, smooth and flowing, whatever the tempo, even if it's slow, that gets you more benefit than trying to stumble through and play something and never quite getting it right. Okay? So take your time. Now, once you've got these licks fairly well in hand, as best you're able, find yourself a Southern rock or blues progression, or both, in the key of G or a G7 dominant-based progression, and play over them using the scale elements you've learned in this lesson. And if you want, you can take the licks that you've learned here and drop them in and see how they work. Maybe you'll need to modify them a little bit. That's okay. They're there to be used and for you to expand upon them and do what you can do with them and play around with them, have fun, right? And then just enjoy it. Enjoy playing over the progression and get more comfortable playing slide licks up and down the fretboard in all 5 positions of the scale. All right? Okay, that'll do for this lesson. When you're ready for the next lesson, it will be there, as will I. We'll see you then. I want to thank you for watching these lessons. I hope you've been enjoying them as much as I've enjoyed putting them together for you. If you would like to continue this series, go over to Patreon, Outsmart Your Guitar, and become a patron at the Backstage Pass level. And as I produce more lessons in this series, they will be posted there. And you will also have access to a whole wealth of material that is not included here on YouTube. And you'll have the benefit of supporting my efforts to continue producing high-quality lesson material for you. Okay? Again, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.